Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Doc.
One doc. You didn't say, hey, beautiful people.
Oh, sorry.
Are they no longer
I'll do it again.
beautiful? Are fantastic
They ugly.
listeners? Are they ugly
Okay,
now?
sorry, I'll
Because they've got
start
trim?
Hey beautiful people, welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Doc.
One doc.
Quarantine. We're still here.
Mm-hmm.
We're still here, and we're going to keep mentioning it because when we look back in the future at these episodes, it'll be like, oh, do you remember that time we couldn't go outside?
Do you remember that time we were dying inside? Literally.
Honestly. But yeah, what are we drinking today?
We are drinking H2O.
I'm drinking Wilder.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Kirkland.
Look at how I've nearly finished it.
I'm so
proud.
proud. I'm so proud.
This is from yesterday though, so yeah.
I'm so proud. But we're going to imagine that we're sipping on some mimosas at brunch together.
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Because that's what I need right now.
I made
honestly.
a mimosa and literally I was like, almost in tears. I was like, I can't wait for outside to open.
Did you use champagne or Prosecco?
Prosecco.
Basic bitch.
Oh, sorry.
I ordered wine online yesterday.
Yeah, you were telling me you're looking.
From like an actual wine website, and I just felt like...
You must have felt like
legit.
a rich bitch.
I can't wait for it to come. I'm going to send it to you when I come,
Okay.
honestly. I got some sweet dessert wines because that's all I'm on. And yeah, I'm excited. It said 3-day delivery, so we shall see.
Oh. They must know that wine is like a necessity in this lockdown.
But yeah, today we are doing the documentary Long Shot.
Yes. And if
I love.
If you listen to our live, BD had said this is like her favourite
yeah.
documentary. So.
Yeah, I did mention it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. I've seen it so this is like the third time that I've seen it. It was made in 2017. It's a Netflix documentary and it's only 40 minutes long. Which I
Chef's
was like,
kiss.
this is madness. Chef's kiss, because normally Netflix documentaries are like an hour and a half minimum. But I found out that this was actually made because it was entered into the Telluride Film Festival and then it was put on Netflix. So it definitely wasn't made for Netflix, which explains why it was so succinct and it just got right to the point.
But Netflix should learn from this because that's exactly what we're looking for. Like, and even the visuals were so stunning as well. Literally
It gave
amazing
me
chills.
everything, like the
Full body
close-ups,
chills.
the drone shots, the backdrop. Like I literally was like, wow, like,
Literally.
this is everything I need from a documentary.
Literally. Netflix,
Everything I
please
need.
learn. These are the kind of documentaries you need. Like, I watched it and it was just the perfect time for it to end. Like, not like some of these other...
It wasn't too fast-paced. It was just well-paced. You got the idea of what, like, beginning, middle, and end. It was perfect.
All the talking heads were relevant. Like, it was fine.
And knowledgeable.
Fam.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get into it. So, we meet the guy that the documentary is all about.
Yeah.
And his name is Juan Ignacio Catalan.
Oh.
And so it
That's
kind of...
such a Mexican name, especially Ignacio.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah,
Isn't Ignacio from Desperate Housewives? Isn't there an Ignacio in Desperate
So I'm currently rewatching Desperate Housewives, but I'm not there if he is there.
Okay.
I'm not there yet. Carlos was her husband.
Yeah, Carlos, but I feel
Solis.
like there's an Ignacio, either her dad or
Maybe.
something. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I knew I wasn't chatting.
So this documentary, it kind of goes back and forth and just kind of shows you different clips and pieces of what's going on, like kind of at the same time. It's not confusing, it's helpful. But so we get some clips of him in court. So you kind of, from the beginning, have an idea of like where this documentary is going. And then, like, we hear his voice, I was going to say his vocals. We hear his voice over these clips. And he's telling us how he lived in the suburbs and life was great. And then his big brother, Mario, again, a Mexican name, started hanging out with, like, a really bad crowd. And then he joined in and they would, like, break into cars and he'd be the getaway driver. And he'd been arrested before, but he kind of made a decision that he never wanted to be, like, there again, right? Kind of setting the scene.
That's kind of key to remember, that he decided never to be in jail and he stepped away from all that stuff.
And showing that you can make mistakes in the past and then not exactly repeat them. So, yeah, so the whole thing started on August the 12th, 2003. And so one of the talking heads in this is his ex-girlfriend, Alma, who is an MVP. Like, I really like her.
This is just to show you that men, like obviously straight men, you
Pick
need a good woman. Like, because you men cannot do it alone, I'm telling you.
If not for this woman, he would be in jail to this day.
She reminded me of like Ugly Betty, like America Ferrera.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
but prettier. Well, I guess America Ferrera is pretty, but her character was like not glowed up.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
She's prettier than the glowed up.
The
non-glowed up.
Yeah.
So him and his girl Alma, they go to his dad's workshop and they're like just living their life, about to go in, and then like someone pulls a gun on them. He's surrounded, he's arrested, turns out it was the police, and everyone's confused, like, wagwan, like, what's going on? And I just cannot imagine the fear of you just living your normal life and then you just have a gun in your face and you're probably thinking you're being attacked at this point.
And it really can happen. Like, anybody
and we
can
hate
get
Popo. Anyone can get it.
Like, it's like Corona. Anyone can get it, mate.
Literally, anyone can get it. Yeah, so it turns out he was arrested by the police, and we find out that it's because this girl called Martha Puella was murdered. And it's crazy because Martha, the girl who was murdered, was actually testifying in court against his brother.
Yeah.
His brother was a co-defendant in the case. So, unfortunately for him, there's now a connection between him and this murder victim.
And it looks very, 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 like, clear cut. Like, yeah, he killed him.
It looks fishy.
Because she tested, like, it was a gang hit. Like, it
almost
ties
as if like
up
a revenge
neatly.
killing.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying, like, and this is why I hate the American justice system. Maybe I just don't know enough about the one here, because we don't get documentaries made that much. But from what I see in the American justice system, it's just about like creating a narrative and what makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And in this case, like, okay, she snitched against your brother, which she didn't even like point him out or say that he did it. She just testified. Which is why if I ever witness anything, I'm not saying nothing to anyone. I'm closing my eyes and reading my book because this is how
Legally
these things happen.
blind.
It's crazy. I am legally blind.
Literally.
So during this bit, we hear from Alma, who's Juan's girlfriend at the time, and she's just recounting everything that she remembers.
From that
she's just
day,
kind of saying, everything she remembers from that day. And it's like, I would be terrible because my memory is trash.
In the toilet.
Like, ask me what happened last week. I have
no clue. I will not even remember this recording by the end of today. Like, literally.
As in, when I'm editing the thing, I'm like, bro, did we say that? That's that's how it goes.
So please, that's the thing I always say. Like, if I ever got arrested, I'm probably going to prison whether I did that shit or not, because I can't remember shit for shit.
I don't know where. But the thing is, it makes sense because they were like to him, oh, like later on, like, how do you know where you were or whatever? If I said to you, where were you 27th of January 2020? I would be like, what day was that?
Literally.
Ooh, let me look at my calendar. Like, I don't know. I don't just know.
And like,
it's like
sometimes
the same with the what's it? You know, cereal.
Yeah.
Saeed.
Yes, literally. And it's like, even now they keep expecting him to remember that day. And like,
as time is going by.
Literally. And one of the things was, well, would you not remember the day your life changed forever so vividly? But when you're going through the motions of that day, you don't know your life is going to change.
Exactly.
So you do a normal everyday thing and you don't stop to think, oh, let me take in the colour of this person's shirt. Or let me greet this person to create an alibi.
Exactly.
Literally. It's so weird. Like, I think as well, sometimes it's so bad because they're asking you what happened like years before. If you asked me what happened last year on this day, fam, I'll have to speculate, but I cannot know for sure.
If not for Snapchat memories, I could not tell you. And even when I look at Snapchat memories, I'm like, raw, what's that?
Exactly. Exactly. I'm finished.
It's crazy. And which brings me to the point of the interrogation tape. So we hear the actual tape from Juan's interrogation.
You're gonna take away my life for this fucking bullshit? What bullshit is this? You killed somebody. Wait a minute. Those are very strong words right there. I did not kill nobody. I would never kill nobody. And I never do anything to hurt anybody. Convince us otherwise.
I hate the police
in
these situations, because this is how you just elicit a false confession and someone will just go to jail.
Literally. And like, Juan is very like lucky and find out that he's kind of strong, like he has a strong character, because other people will just confess, especially if you've been in that room for how long, without food, without water, without sleep. You just say anything to rest,
to get out, and they'll lie to you and be like, look, we know you did it, we understand why you did it, just be honest. And it's like, because there's even this is it called The Confession Files or whatever? It's on Netflix, and you just see episode by episode how people have been coerced into confessing something that they didn't do and end up going to jail for it.
Literally.
And it's like, oh, well, if you didn't do it, why would you confess? And it's like, no, sir, no, ma'am. Like, you cannot just say these things because you don't know what it's like in that situation.
To be honest, the American justice system is so flawed.
Oh, honestly, it's a game. And we see that with that stupid witch that we meet later on.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
So next we meet the best lawyer of all time.
Literally.
Yeah. Juan tells us that his cousin told him about him, saying that he's really good, blah, blah, blah. And his name is Todd Melnick, MVP.
Who does he remind you of?
And I actually love this man. What do you mean?
He reminds me of Saul from Breaking Bad. Did you ever watch Breaking Bad?
I did. But Saul was like a creep, no?
He's less seedy. But I think it's because he had like a TV ad. Like, whenever lawyers have TV ads, I'm just like, you're not serious.
They all have. Do they not all have TV ads?
No, not the serious ones.
Not the serious ones. I'm sure they started off with TV ads and they got to a level where it was no longer necessary.
It's like, this is Soul.
No, but Todd looks like an all-American, do you know what I mean?
Guy.
All-American guy.
He looks like he plays golf on the
Yeah.
weekends.
And his wife bakes really well, and the kids are on the honor roll, and they have a white
And
picket
she's
fence and a
blonde.
dog named
She's
Sam.
blonde.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. But yeah, I love him. I feel like if you're not doing your job like Todd is, then you need to quit.
Yeah, he's a good
Then
lawyer.
what are you doing? Yeah, literally. So he tells us that initially he had minimal information or evidence about the case, the witnesses, all that stuff. And then we do actually see the sketch of the suspect.
Yes.
Because there was a witness who gave a police sketch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a Hispanic male, 19 to 25 years old, bit of facial hair. Like, it's just not specific.
Yeah, it could be anyone. It's like...
It could be him, it could not. Do you know
Exactly.
what I mean?
It's like if a kid drew a cartoon of... Like a cartoon outline of him, but it could be anyone. There are thousands
Anybody.
of men walking around in LA that look
That
like
matched that description.
So
exactly.
it didn't have to be him, basically.
Exactly. Todd finds out the death penalty is on the table, and I feel like that changes everything.
Everything. It's like
because
shit.
it's like, yeah, it's like what Gillian says, like, for the death penalty to be, like, to work, you have to be 100% right 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And what are the chances of that being the case? Like, imagine if they had actually put the death penalty on this guy.
Yeah.
Mad. But Todd doesn't actually believe that Juan did it. And he tells him, like, it's okay, bro. Like, I'm going to get you out of jail. Like, it's going to be fine. And for me, like, this documentary, and it's not just this one, because even with the Central Park 5 documentary, that whole series, you just deep that anybody can be accused of anything. And it's not about
Literally.
whether you did it or not. Like, the last thing to think about is whether you did it or not. It's just about, can we prove
That
that
you
you did it? Does
didn't,
it make
literally.
sense? Does it fit the narrative? And it's
That's
just,
the thing.
it's just mad.
Like when you get arrested, all that I didn't do it, yeah, it's pointless
Doesn't
because the
mean shit.
police want a suspect and all they want to do is pin it on you and like literally like it's that thing we're talking about with flat earthers about how they have like they've
Yeah,
reached a
a
conclusion
conclusion.
and they want everything to fit there. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They try to
Yeah.
make a narrative so it fits there. So your whole aim is just to throw and debunk their narrative, like to show
And
that
how can I prove that I wasn't, so I wasn't
Yeah,
doing
exactly,
something?
exactly.
And you man are trying to prove that I did. It's crazy. Like the whole innocent or guilt thing is just a concept.
Mm.
It's just a concept because what?
literally, that's why I've just decided in life I can never be alone for a day. Because let it be that one day I'm by myself, they'll say I murdered someone. What?
Let me live tweet my whole day.
Fam.
I can't be stabbing and tweeting, can I? Nope, sorry.
Oop, there it is.
So the cops say they have a witness who can place Juan at the scene of the crime. So, like, obviously, Todd is trying to be like, all right, cool. Obviously, you didn't do this, so you weren't at the scene of the crime. Where were you? And thank God for Alma,
Thank God.
who reminds Juan that he was actually at a Dodgers game the night that Martha Puella was killed.
Yep.
And so you're just like, oh my God, yes, alibi. Like, he was at a game.
Yeah.
So obviously, he couldn't be doing the killing. Do you know what I mean?
This is also how you learn men are trash. Because
Oh my goodness.
Juan bought these tickets for his mum for Mother's Day,
Cheeky.
knowing that she wouldn't want to go, and then ultimately he would go.
He would have
like,
to go.
what kind of... May I never raise a son like this, please? Like,
But then also, thank the Lord that this was the case.
yeah.
Because if he was just at home with his mum, what's his mum going to say? No, he was here.
And she says that, Martha says that at the end, that thank God he went because,
Alma.
Alma.
Yeah.
She's like, thank God he went because, like, if he hadn't have gone, who
Yeah.
are they going to believe? Him, his mum, his dad?
Yeah.
Like, her, his mum, his dad?
Exactly.
Like, literally. Like, it's so crazy. And I do think, like, when you watch this documentary, you just say, like, if you're Christian, you're just like, wow, God works in absolute mysterious
mysterious
ways.
ways.
And if you're not, you're just like, well, the universe was taking care of him, like, whatever you believe in. But there was definitely a higher force in this whole thing.
There was divine intervention going on
literally
here.
from the jump.
Yeah. He decides to take his brother, his cousin, and his little girl to the game,
Yeah.
right? Now, just remember this because it becomes relevant later on, right? So now we're in the documentary and it switches between Juan explaining what's happening in the game that he went to and then Todd explaining what happened to Martha. So it kind of... The way they do it kind of gives you the feeling that everything was happening at the same time, obviously,
Simultaneously,
because he didn't do it.
It's
Yeah.
so good because it literally reinforces the whole thing of he
brilliant.
didn't do it. Like, it was
He wasn't there.
as Juan was narrating things that were happening in the game. I don't understand baseball, but like, oh, like maybe he hit
Yeah,
the
me
ball.
neither.
Oh my gosh, and
Yeah,
this
these
guy.
were the points. This was the thing. Yeah.
yeah. Then on the other side of town, like Todd is narrating like what's going on with Martha. That she left her house, she was chilling with her friends. Like, it just shows you that these two were kind of
They're
like
while this was happening. this
literally
was
they were
yeah.
parallel events. So he
Simultaneous,
couldn't
yeah.
have done it.
Yeah, and so Todd is like, Martha's chilling outside her house with some people, and they see a car slowing down nearby. Driver comes out, him and Martha's exchange some words, and shoots her in the head. And so it's funny to me because they say that there's a group of them standing outside, but then there's only one witness. I don't know if people ran away or whatever, but the witness basically sees Martha get shot, obviously, drops his phone, runs away. And then they get a sketch based on what this witness saw on a darkened street in the night, fully traumatized.
You kind of block that kind of trauma out as well. But then I think what they do is from watching, from watching Law and Order, they have like these psychologists there that help you like walk through that moment, so you can draw like a better image. Because it's funny, even if you see someone in passing, like your brain does retain a lot more than you think you've retained.
Oh, that's crazy because I don't remember. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't even know what my bus driver looks like. I literally would just tap that oyster and be out.
I feel like sometimes if I don't see my friends for ages, like I forget what they like.
Yeah, thank God for Instagram.
Fam.
Like, I don't remember people's face. I just kind of remember like the essence of them. Like, if I associate a particular hairstyle with that person, whenever I think of Liz, like I just think of her with the middle part and the wavy like long hair. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think of a certain thing with them. But, But yeah.
She was murdered because she did testify. And the day that she testified, which was May 1st of 2003, Juan Catalan was present in the audience during his brother's preliminary hearing when this girl testified.
Do you think that Juan Catalan has any kind of a legitimate alibi at all?
No.
So now we meet this witch of a prosecutor. I put witch in capital letters.
Yeah, I didn't even put her real name.
Did they even say her name? Because I didn't deep it.
They just call her Sniper.
The prosecutor they assigned to the case had never lost a murder case ever before in her career. Her nickname was Sniper because she likes to pick off people with the death penalty.
This prosecutor is literally the epitome of America is trash and the judicial system is trash. Because she basically says, like, the witness said this, he looked like this, so it must be this guy. And snipers, let's just bear in mind, snipers just kill unsuspecting people. That's what they do. That's actually their job.
And that's what this is
doing. To equate yourself with that kind of profession is madness when you're supposed to be seeking justice.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be about, oh, we need someone in jail for this. It should be about, we need the person who did this so that they don't do it again. Because if we're just trying to convict anyone, that person is still out there shooting and maiming.
Literally. So
now what?
Exactly.
So annoying. Like, it's just them people where it's just about winning. It's not about
it's not about
justice.
being right. It's just like win, another court case, a court, whatever that I've won. And obviously she's never lost, so she's out for blood with this one. And for her,
exactly.
It does look very neat and nicely wrapped. He shot the girl that testified against his brother.
Exactly, that's the point that she makes. I don't know, like, it's just like you were saying before, it's just like a story in it, and it just fits the story, and it just makes sense and sounds all nice and tidy. So cool, like. Which, so Todd tells Alma, we're back now. Todd tells Alma to find the tickets to prove that he was there, and Alma's just like, she looked everywhere. She searched up and down, round and round. She couldn't find it, and then eventually she found the tickets.
Right, and or
I can just
die.
imagine the elation. Imagine like the elation. You're just like, I've saved his life.
Literally. And this has just shown me to keep tickets as well. Actually, to be fair, there's like e-tickets now, and it comes on your phone. Like, you get the confirmation email and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah, but then it doesn't show that you were there. It just shows that you bought a ticket.
I guess.
But I think if you have the ticket and you went there, maybe they rip the stub or they stamp it or something
or scan
to prove
it
that you were there.
Yeah.
So yeah, Alma finds the tickets and we're like, thank Jehovah. And then Todd gets it. Todd, like, when I say he goes above and beyond,
he goes
and
above.
I know we shouldn't clap. I know we shouldn't applaud a fish for swimming, but like, this fish can swim. Like, when I say, yeah, he contacts the owner of the Dodger Stadium so he can take pictures of where Juan was sitting and then see if maybe they could identify people sitting near him that could testify. But no one really remembered him. No one thought they could, like, you know, in their right conscience say, yeah, I definitely saw him. Fair enough, yeah. But obviously now that sets us back a little bit. And all this time, Juan is in jail.
Yeah.
Like, he gets transferred to maximum security.
Yeah,
and then
he
says this thing that just makes me like, rah, it's actually not just I'm sitting in prison bored as hell. It's like my life is in danger.
You really don't know what fear is until you hear a grown man screaming for help.
It's so mad because even if you're guilty, you can be in jail and feel like, rah, this is a
Literally,
madness.
it's
Let
a
alone if you're
madness.
innocent.
Like, literally, it might, the punishment might not justify, like, what you
Yeah.
did for being in that environment, basically.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I just cannot even imagine.
Like, if you've even listened to Ear Hustle, like, you know that prison
I
is
love Ear Hustle.
no fucking joke.
Mad thing.
It's not
Mad
a
thing.
joke.
There's so many episodes of Ear Hustle now, I was just like close to tears. Like, what?
Literally,
is
honestly,
this?
honestly. And, like, it's funny as well because even though some of them, I think a lot of them actually did the crimes they're in for, but, like, you still feel so much compassion because you can even hear that they've changed.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like, when you've been somewhere, as in you've been in jail for like 15 years. I mean, me 15 years ago is not the me that I was now.
Talk about if you're in prison.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I know that if someone had robbed my family member or like killed someone that I love and stuff, I would not be thinking, oh my God, yeah, 15 years is enough. But you hear the change and you're like, I get why you're in here, but that doesn't mean that the conditions in there should be as trash as they
Inhumane,
are
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying you need to be released to the world to maybe reign terror again, but I'm just saying that you're a human being. Like, in there, you shouldn't be treated like less than that.
Literally.
You know? You're a human being who made a mistake, but you're still a human being. So it's mad. But next we learn about Dodger Vision, which is the camera that you can see on the big screen, like in the stadium. And so Todd goes through every single frame looking for Juan. And at the same time, we get Juan saying,
And then you hear these stories of people being exonerated 25, 30 years later. And that would play in my head over and over and over.
imagine having that thought, like
In
you're
your
in
head,
prison,
yeah,
and you're
like,
fam, like I could be in
I'm
here
gonna
for
be
a
here
year
for
before
30
anyone,
years.
and be put on the death penalty, so you'll just be on death row forever until
Literally.
they decide to kill you.
What would be your last death row meal?
Ooh, that is it depends on how I'm feeling. It depends how I'm feeling, because sometimes like, I just want some like prawn linguine, like a nice creamy sauce vibes, because that'll be nice and dense, so like when you're getting put to sleep, it's like, yeah, cool, I went out all right. But then sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I just want McDonald's and just bare chicken nuggets and like a chicken sandwich meal, do you know what I mean, cheeseburger on the side. Don't know, what about you?
I've thought about this a lot. I'd have calamari to start, so I'm going to go through
Oh my
different
God, she's talking
countries.
starters.
I'm going to have... No, you're allowed starters, main and dessert. I'd have calamari to
nothing.
start. I'd have mac and cheese, cornbread, fried chicken, ribs.
So is that not your starter? The
No,
mac
that's
and
the
cheese
no,
and
that's the main.
just the calamari.
Calamari's
the
the starter. The
okay,
main will be all that. And then for dessert, I'd have like a red velvet cheesecake,
Oh, nice. A moist one.
a moist one. And then like I have to have like a strong glass of like Moscato to wash it down.
A nice,
And I
nice
think I'm
thing.
set good for that needle.
Yeah, then I say, Lord Jesus, then just a quick prayer of repentance
Prayer
and
of
then go do
repentance
heaven.
for all the sins, and then it's like, take me,
Yep.
Jesus.
Take me now. Strike me down. Oh, God forbid. So Todd does find footage of Juan on the Dodger Vision, right? And you're just like, oh my God, amazing. But then the resolution is trash.
Yeah, it's
so
not
you
high
wouldn't have
enough.
held up in court.
Yeah.
Mhm. So it's like, you can kind of see that it's him because you know it's him. But if someone didn't know it was him, you wouldn't be able to identify
Yeah.
it as him. Yeah. So next we see his daughter testifying in court. And it's so sad because like deep it, this is probably the first time he's seen his kid
In ages. And
'cause
she has
he's
to be
just
in
sitting there.
court, literally.
Exactly. And so she's just basically saying she went to the game with her dad and he bought her ice cream and candy and Dodgers cards, and Juan's just crying like,
So much.
yeah. And one thing that annoys me is like we have this like footage that comes in and out, and it's like a reporter, I'm assuming, asking questions to that witch or
Sniper,
prosecutor. Yeah. And he's asking why didn't Juan declare the Dodgers game alibi when he was being interrogated. And it's just like what we were saying before, like I'm surprisingly all of a sudden I've been arrested and you're asking me where were you on this day, where were you on this day. I'm not thinking
Exactly.
oh, I was at the Dodgers game. It's even Alma that was like, oh babe, remember you were at the
At the
Dodgers
Dodgers game, literally. And she's all like smug and she's like, you'll have to ask him.
game. Ugh,
I hate her. I wanted to slap her.
Not Alma, the witch.
The witch. It was the witch that was like,
Yeah.
you're going to have to ask him. I wanted to slap her.
just-
She must feel
honestly.
ridiculous now, though.
But she would still probably say, oh, he was probably involved. It's like even the woman with the Central Park 5, like she refuses to admit any wrongdoing in that whole situation. When you got 5 boys, young boys, and put them in jail for how many years?
Sometimes
And she
you're
just took-
so deep in your like wrongness, you just have
You
to
believe
draw
your lie.
that. You can't.
Yeah, you believe your lie. This hate people is really attacking us. Oh
Fam.
my goodness. If you guys only heard the amount of times we've had to pause and sneeze.
Sneeze and like sniffle, like it's
And sniffle,
really
my
bad.
goodness.
I know because my chest is tight. Like, it's been tight
Oh, is it? Does
since.
that happen? Oh, yeah, because you got asthma. Innit?
Yes, I went outside to do exercise on, was it Monday or Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
No, Sunday. I went to do like a workout class on my laptop in the garden because obviously it was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I came in, my eyes were streaming, my throat was closing up.
And you've been doing up cardio.
Fam,
It's crazy.
I hate it here.
So we learned that Juan actually has a really good memory when it comes to baseball plays, like what we were talking about before. Like, I don't know, I guess you don't shoot in baseball, but hits and runs and all that stuff,
Yeah,
That's as much as I know about baseball.
legit.
So he remembers that something was actually being filmed at the Dodgers game because there was security at the end of the aisles and some guy was like walking up and down filming different takes. And we just say thank the Lord that he was so observant, because I don't think I would have been that observant.
No.
I think I might have noticed cameras just because like I like videos and editing and that kind of stuff. But I don't know if I would have like noticed it and remembered that I had seen that. Do you know what I mean? You might have deeped it at the time, but to recall that information and be like, oh, I think they were filming something.
I wouldn't have remembered.
Yeah.
So I know that for a fact.
So now Todd, the best lawyer ever, goes back to the stadium and he finds out that something was actually being filmed there that day. He gets a number for someone and he calls this producer, and some guy called Tim Gibbons answers. Tim Gibbons works for HBO.
Insecure's
Madness.
HBO.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, what's it? Curb Your Enthusiasm is so much bigger than Insecure, but okay. So Todd explains everything. Tim is like, okay, cool story, bro, but we don't release pre-production footage, so you're going to have to wait until it airs.
But can I just
Meanwhile,
say
Juan is in
something?
jail.
Before they even get to that bit, yeah, there's this really beautiful bit where when Todd goes to the Dodger Stadium and they look at the calendar book, they're flipping through and it's all plain. There's nothing in there. And I can only imagine how his heart is racing and he's like, shit. And then like...
until they get to May 12th.
Literally, that's the only day when there's something in there. Like this, I just want to
And I want to say all the stars aligned. Because they didn't have to shoot on that day.
Literally,
becomes so
even
much
we
more important
learn
later on.
about that. Like, they didn't have to shoot on that day.
And then Juan may not have even been able to go that day or gone to that game that
and
day.
even the section they were shooting in, but we'll get into that as well.
It's just, as in, that's what I'm
chef's
saying,
kiss.
this documentary just gives me all the feels. Like, as angry as it makes me, that's as happy as it makes me. Anyway, let's not spoil it for you guys. Keep listening. So then we meet Larry David. He's like the Seinfeld guy. He starred in Curb Your Enthusiasm. I've actually seen a couple episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm, but it was long to try and find episodes because HBO. But yeah, no, it was really interesting.
You will probably recognize him as the guy whose like hair looks like a wig. It doesn't look like it's really his hair. That bald patch and the thin looks like he's wearing those Einstein wigs. Like I was, and he's always had that hairstyle. I don't ever remember him with like a full head of hair.
Maybe he didn't blow back then.
Yeah,
I really like his glasses in this whole thing. I think they really, really suit him. They look really nice.
I like his vibe. Like, he's just a funny guy.
He just seems like a calm, unproblematic, but he's probably problematic with comedians. So the episode they're shooting is season 4, episode 7, Carpool Lane, and I actually have made it my mission to go and find that episode and watch it because just all the feels. And Kim Whitley is in that episode.
Yes,
I love Kim Whitley.
I love
Who's
her.
that person that they say she looks like? It's the mum from Sister.
Yeah, is it Jackie Harris?
Yeah, Jackie Harris. Yeah, they're like twins.
They look like twins. But Jackie Harris is the one that's always on Twitter saying some bullshit. But yeah, she's funny.
So we meet Rob. Rob was a runner at the time. So like runners like just do all the small little things around on a set and stuff. And luckily, Rob didn't really take his job too seriously. We're going to put a pin in that because that becomes a lot more relevant later
So
on.
the lesson here is just don't take your job too seriously.
Don't take your job too seriously and take it very seriously if you're Todd.
Literally.
If you're Rob, don't worry about it. If you're Todd,
worry about it. Exactly. So only lawyers need to take their job seriously.
Yeah, lawyers take their job seriously. Everyone else chill. So we learn that they agreed to film this particular scene during an actual game because it would be too much to fill the stadium with extras and do all of that stuff. Like, it's just a lot. So Todd actually gets access to the tapes and he watches all of the tapes to find Juan. Guys, deep it. Like, all of the tapes.
This is before
and
editing.
Like, every single frame. Yeah,
Literally.
and this is not like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna have a quick look. Like, there's a stadium full of people. Like, you're having to... This is some work that he's doing. My goodness.
Some bullshit.
Some bullshit. So we learned that at some point during the game, Juan's beautiful little girl, she wants a snack, right?
Always ask your dad for snacks.
Always ask. That's another thing.
Or always take your kids
don't
to
do your
get
job,
snacks.
Do your job
depending.
and always ask for snacks.
Yeah, depending
Exactly.
on which side of that parenthood you're on.
You're on.
I'm
exactly.
still asking my dad for snacks.
And me, I'm asking for snacks.
Fam. And will be for a while.
So Juan's daughter wanted a snack. He takes her to get the snack. But then when they're on their way back, there are cameras on the aisle. And he's trying to go back to his seat, but he gets stopped And then the guy decides to let him go through, but doesn't really let anyone else go through.
Which is so crazy. This is
The
what I
favour of the Lord.
mean.
No one can tell me.
Everybody else was told no. But then Rob was like, oh, you know what, you can like go through. And Juan was even saying himself, like, he just remembers that everybody else wasn't let through. So like he was confused as to why he was, but he just sat on his seat.
Yeah, so that's Rob, like the runner from before. The guy lets him go through and he says,
I probably didn't even know that we were rolling the camera. And if I did, I was probably a shitty PA and let them through anyway.
and thank God he did, because we see Juan on the tape. Like,
clear as day.
every time I watch this, like I'm so close to, like, if I was on my period, I'm sure I would have cried,
Yeah.
because it's like this whole bit and it's all dramatic and stuff, and like Todd, I think there's maybe like 16 or 8 tapes or something, and then he's on tape 5, he still hasn't seen Juan, like, and then he's on tape 6, tape 7, tape 8, and he sees him in all of them.
Yep.
And it's like they show it to us, the tape, and you see him and his daughter
Clear
literally
as
clear
day.
as day. Like, that is Juan. Like, I could have drawn his face from
Literally
the
from that.
views I was getting, and you're like, oh my
My.
God. And then we hear,
I literally jumped out of my chair,
Literally sprung out of his chair,
and there is this gasp.
and there he was.
we see Rob's reaction to them on the tape, and he's like crying, like you see his eyes welling up.
Yeah.
And Todd, it's like Rob doesn't deep like how important that stupid decision was at the time. Yeah. So Todd asked what time this was shot, because obviously the murder happened at whatever time, and so we need to know what time it happened. So we first see Juan at 8:55 and then at 9:15.
I looked at this video as being the holy grail of Juan's defense. Except the murder took place at like 10:32.
So they would argue that he left early to go and
it's
kill
like,
her.
What else do we need? Like, what else do we need? Like, he's on the tape. Like,
Literally.
I was screaming at my screen, like, he's on the tape. It's
on
like
the
when
fucking tape.
in Friends, when he's like, did she get off the plane? I got off the plane. So after the game, and this is where it's just like, oh God, coincidences. So after the game, remember he said he was with his cousin, his brother, and his daughter. So
Yeah.
he drops his cousin home, and that cousin happens to live on the street that Martha Puella was killed on,
Yeah.
which is madness. So the prosecution, the witch, is basically saying Juan had time to go to the game and then come home and commit the murder.
Yeah, literally, which the time does prove that if he could have been on that street at 10:43. The sniper is saying, so they asked the sniper, so what is that HBO tape good for? Because when I was seeing her interviews, I thought she was interviewed before the tape came out. That's why she was all smug. I didn't know that she was interviewed after the fucking tapes came out, and she was still loud and wrong. So they asked her, what is the HBO tape good for? And she says, nothing. Literally, she was like, it's good for nothing. Like, it doesn't prove anything. And do you know how defeating it is to have gone through all of what Todd went through to get that evidence, for you to sit there and be like, yeah, it doesn't prove anything.
And dismiss it. But this is what I'm saying, is that somebody can really believe they're like, okay, so this is unrelated but related, yeah. So remember the Desperate Housewives,
Yeah.
And then George, spoilers by the way, season 1. This was like 10 years ago anyway, so no spoiler. But George was poisoning Bree's husband, and
Yes,
he
yes,
died,
yes,
right?
yeah.
And then they did a lie detector test, and they asked him, did you poison
The husband,
Rex
yeah,
Vanderkamp? And he said no, and it didn't detect deception. Obviously, lie
Because
detectors are shit, but he believed
believed
in
it, yeah.
the lies so much so that he wasn't lying. In his heart of hearts, he was telling the
Yeah,
truth.
yeah.
So I think with this witch prosecutor, it's like she so believes or has convinced herself that this person did it. It doesn't matter what anybody says.
She's not gonna...
He did it.
Yeah.
And a prosecutor is supposed to find who did
Did
it.
it.
Okay, a detective is supposed to find who did it, but a prosecutor is supposed to look at, did this person do it? And can I
yeah.
prove that they did
Yeah.
it? Not like you said before, the flat earthers being like, oh, this person did it, so let me find a way to
prove
say
that they did it, yeah.
It's just crazy. Oh, goodness. So Todd, the best lawyer ever, figures out that you can use phone records to see which towers phone calls were pinging off, right? And his phone records show that he was still at the stadium at 10:12. And then we hear from this judge, Leslie Dunn, who I really liked. She seems like cool vibes. She's the judge.
You
didn't
liked
like her?
I'll get into why I didn't like her. Not that I didn't
I
like
liked her
her,
because
but I
she-
didn't have time for her. But I'll...
Yeah, but I liked her because I liked her verdict. So
Okay, fair enough.
So she is the actual judge from the case. And so she reminds us that Juan is actually looking at the death penalty if convicted. And I don't feel like people place enough emphasis on that.
Because he's exonerated now, you just think.
I think he's guilty, he'll go to jail. And it's like, no. He's looking at the death penalty. So you have to think of it as, do you believe that this person should be killed for this crime? And that's a completely different kettle of fish. Do you know what I mean?
So
So-
they present her with all this tower stuff. And like this judge says she was befuddled. All she knew about the case, so this is when she says all she knew about the case was that he was possibly facing the death penalty. And I'm just like, sis, you're the judge. You shouldn't be befuddled. Like,
but I think at that point, that's all she knew about the case. Of course, she knows more about the case. How are you going to make it rule if you don't know anything about the case?
I hope so, because she does some other dumb shit later on, but we move.
She has to ask herself if she's going to send this person to jury trial, so for like 12 people to be like, oh yeah, you did or you didn't do it, or if she's going to make the decision to like dismiss it or not. And I'm very happy that she takes the decision to basically do it in her own hands and stuff. And she's like, she listens to the interrogation tapes over and over and over again, and she doesn't think he's guilty. And that's probably because he's not guilty, okay, first of all. And then she's like, she plays the kids, the tapes to her kids. And I was like, okay, how old are these kids? I'm not gonna lie. Because the thing is, I can imagine my mum being a judge and playing the tapes to me as I am now and being like, oh, what do you think about this? And I'd probably be like, I don't think he did it. But I just don't know.
Is that even appropriate?
The fact that she said on documentary, I was like, oh, maybe this is not punishable, or this is like okay.
I was like, is that even appropriate? And like, we don't know how old these kids are, and you're asking them,
not children,
and like, you're asking them, oh, like, do you think this man is guilty? So your like life is in the hands of like this either teenage or primary school kid. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I doubt they're that young.
Nobody knows.
But yeah, I thought that was weird. Like, I thought like, yeah, that was a bit weird.
That's why I was just like, is she serious? Like, and she looks quite bimbo-ish as well. I was like, is she actually serious? Like,
I don't think she looks bimbo-ish. I just think she's one of those people that's very like
ditzy.
They want to be very, very sure of the. You can't be a judge and be ditzy. There's no way with
don't
the
know.
training it takes to get there. I disagree. But yeah, I really thought we were going to agree this whole episode, but nope, guess not.
No, I thought you were going to agree on this. How the fuck are you taking this shit to your kids to listen to and asking them?
No, I agree that is weird. I mean, she clearly was anguished by this case because she was moving mad. But I don't think she's ditzy, and I don't think like, I don't know. I think she was just like up to her ears, and she was like, "This is mad." Like, I know what I think, but I need, because I feel like if my mum was a judge, she would ask me. She'd be like, "Listen to this. What do you think?" Not like, "Hey boys, okay, I'm about to give you your snack, but before that." But yeah, so Todd sums it all up really nicely when he says,
This man would be facing the death penalty if he hadn't, by the grace of God, gotten Dodger tickets from someone the day before and invited these people, got caught on video from that HBO show. You heard the tape of the interview with Detective Pinner.
And the prosecutor is still chatting shit about her one traumatized witness.
It is clearly a one-witness ID case. However, the one witness in this case is extremely credible, has no motive to lie, and made a composite drawing with a composite artist that is strikingly similar to the defendant's appearance.
One thing that the judge says I really like is when she says,
I don't have any doubt that eyewitness attempted to be credible, but he observed this murder on a darkened residential street under obviously the most traumatic of circumstances.
So I'm really happy she took that into account, because it's like, how can the case hinge on one witness?
Literally.
So the judge is talking and giving her verdict, and then she decides that he's innocent because he is.
Yeah. And Juan isn't even listening. He's so scared and confused and lost in this
You know when you don't hear, don't hear what's
Todd
happening.
has to tell him it's over, and then he's like, wait.
Yeah. And like he hugs Todd, and we see him being reunited with his daughter and his girlfriend at the time, and it's just like, imagine all that they've been through like in that time for doing absolutely nothing. And then we get like a little bit of justice here, yeah, because we see the detectives who interrogated him being questioned about their wrongdoing, them wastemans, yeah. So the one that got me the most was
Rodriguez.
He gets asked,
Did you try to trick Juan Catalan after he was arrested with a circle around his picture?
Yes, sir.
That was dishonest, right?
and there's no answer. It's like, how can you say, I circle a picture of you and I'm like, this person pointed you out, look, they circled your picture. This is how they get false confessions.
Literally.
You think, oh my gosh, like, they said I've done it, maybe it's just easier for me to say I did it and get a plea deal
It's
rather
embarrassing
than getting the death penalty.
that this is the LAPD.
It's crazy. And then the LAPD have messed up a lot.
Of cases, yeah.
A lot. So let me get on-screen text saying that Juan received $320,000 settlement in a lawsuit against LA and their police. Like, I'm sorry, I know it's a lot of money, like in and of itself, but it's not worth what he went through.
Nope.
Like, you couldn't pay me $320,000 to go to jail and possibly receive the death penalty.
Nope. The emotional trauma alone. No.
Impossible. Yep. And now I haven't worked for however long. Like my family, like, nope, there's too many things.
No.
Yeah.
I need at least $1 million.
So at the very least. And then we get more on-screen text, and one of the detectives was removed from working homicides and the other one was transferred to an auto fraud detail. And it's like, you man could have ruined a man's life and his family.
Literally.
But okay, cool, just reassign them. Like, just, you know, put them somewhere else.
Reassign them, yeah.
Ruin more lives. They just, obviously they weren't trying to be interviewed, but cool.
Yeah.
I really like this documentary because although it's not about the Martha Pella case, they don't actually forget about her, because the last on-screen text tells us that 4 men were responsible for her death. They all took plea deals and they're all doing life without parole. So the people who did this did get caught. And although that's not the focus of this documentary, I feel like it's important.
It's good to know.
Yeah, because like she was a real person.
Yeah,
and somebody
and she was
killed her.
only 16. Like, what the
She's
fuck?
only 16. Do you know how mad that is?
And we see her body as well. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
It's so crazy.
It's so mad. But yeah, the documentary ends with Alma and some other guy basically saying, like, what if he'd been at home at the time? Like, what if so many things didn't happen? If the stars didn't align, if so many things didn't happen. It's crazy.
And it ends with, like, doesn't it end
crazy.
with Juan and Alma, like, singing the empty Dodgers stadium?
Yeah.
I think they're still together.
Cinematography. Are they? No, it's an ex-girlfriend, didn't it?
They said ex-girlfriend at the time because they were having issues, and then he called her for a booty call. But he was talking about back in the day. So you don't think they're together now?
I don't know. I don't think that's I rated her even more because I was like, right, I don't know if one of my exes called me about,
Well,
what was I
she
doing?
is his-
Nigga, I don't know.
He is her baby daddy, so...
So they're always going to be cool. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And she also saved his life. So, I mean...
Yeah, he owes her. I hope he wifed her.
Yeah. I mean, not if he wasn't good to her, then I hope he didn't and she found
fair
someone better.
But yeah,
no,
that was it was, guys, honestly, like, literally watch it. Like, I don't even think we can describe, like, the cinematic, like, experience of watching it.
And just it's everything. Like, it was visually satisfying. Like,
literally.
It was just, like, emotionally satisfying. Like, it was
perfect.
like, it's one of my favorite documentaries ever. And it's so short. 40 minutes? Come on. Like, to write my notes on it took me maybe like an hour, which normally it takes me
double
time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Literally, watch it. Even at the end, the way they go out, you see different pictures of, like, different people. See Juan holding, like, a picture of him in, like, the baseball
at the Dodger
uniform.
Stadium ages ago.
Ages ago. You see, like, all the talking heads just looking happy. Like, it's just... Yeah, you don't see Sniper, which also adds as well.
Witch.
Like, you even see Judge Leslie as well. Like, she actually is part of it. She doesn't just... She's not, like, part of just she's part of the whole process, like...
Yeah, it's not just, like, archival footage. Like,
it's actually her. That's what I was looking for. So check this documentary out.
Yeah, please watch it, guys. And let us know what you think. You can, like, tweet us and stuff. But I love this documentary so much. I've watched it so many times.
Same. And I've actually... when I started watching, I was like, oh, shit, I've watched this before. And I'd listened to 2 podcast episodes on it. So, yeah. So what are we doing next?
So we're doing Murder to Mercy, the Cyntoia Brown story. Which is actually coming out in 2 days from the time that we recorded this. So it will be our next episode.
Yeah.
I actually already seen some beef because apparently Cyntoia Brown was not actually involved in this documentary. And she's making her own documentary. Yeah. She was saying how, like, she's got no parts of this documentary. She wasn't interviewed for it, nothing like that. It's just someone taking her story and making money off it.
I didn't know you could do that.
I mean, you can do what you like, innit?
It's true.
But yeah, so we're going to be doing that. I'm excited about that one because that story is really controversial. Because even when the Shade Room put up that the documentary was coming out, and people in the comments were like, well, she did that shit, so I don't see why everyone thinks that she should be freed and stuff. So
are you serious?
It's crazy. Yeah.
This is gonna be a good
interesting one to do. I just hope it's a good one. I just know it's gonna be so long because it's Netflix.
It's Netflix, and the story, the subject matter itself. I don't know. I think we're looking at least how. Okay, let's guess how long we think it's gonna be.
Okay, I think it's gonna be at least an hour and a half.
I think at least an hour 45 minutes.
Do you think? We'll see, I was debating between half an hour, 45 minutes. I think it'll be an hour and a half. Especially because, like, she's not really involved in it. Like, so it's not like we're going to get from her. It's going to be a lot of he said, she said.
Imagine if it comes out in like 30 minutes.
No, it won't be. It won't be. Impossible.
All right,
anyway,
guys.
You heard it here first. But yeah, guys, we are on Instagram and Twitter at 2girls1doc. That's number 2, number 1. I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Miss Beedie. That's MissBeedie.
And I am on Twitter and Instagram 4 ends with 1 underscore for Twitter and 4 ends with 2 underscores for Instagram.
And thanks for listening, guys. Stay safe out there on these streets in your house.
Stay Koro free.
Stay Koro free. And this is the trailer for Melody to Mercy, this Cyntoia Brown story.
Yeah, it's over with now. I got life.
Cyntoia Brown shot Johnny Allen.
I shot him because I thought he was gonna shoot me.
This young woman didn't get a fair shake.
She was a 16-year-old runaway, beaten, pimped, and raped.
When you go through sexual abuse as a child, you build hate.
I really just never felt like anybody loved me.
In 2004, she was considered a prostitute. Today, she would be considered a victim of sexual predators.
Violence, anger, rejection. I mean, this is her view of the world.
Why fight for a person who has taken a life?
Cruelly and mercilessly, Cyntoia Brown executed.
That was not her intent when she shot him, and you know it.
She has made the most amazing transformation.
She's the perfect person to be considered for clemency.
Time and proximity can change adversaries into allies.
Now, celebrities like Rihanna, T.I., and Lana Del Rey are tweeting for clemency for Cyntoia.
I want to go home and I can't.
We'll see what the governor says.
When I was 16, I did a horrible thing. I do pray that you show me mercy and that you give me a second chance.